Hello, it is Tara Boothby, Sojourn Psychology, and I wanted to touch base. It's post-American election, 2024, November. And yeah, it's trending. Lots of people are talking about the American election. It's been, I don't know, 2 weeks, I guess, since we got the news of Donald Trump's victory. And it's strange. You know what? It's strange time. Politics are strange. I'm not going to be political here, but I want to talk about the emotional effect that I see going on. Lots of people talking about the election. Also, since the election, I've had more people discussing lockdowns and sort of remembering the pain and some of the trauma of the concern, the unknown. So with the American election oftentimes evokes emotion and experience of concern. What is going to happen, the unknown, whether we're happy about the victory or not. It's this unknowing, and we'll be facing Canadian elections going forward. And so people are talking more about the political unknown in Canada as well. And of course, concern. There's a heated political climate out there globally. War in Ukraine is not spoken about enough, but it's devastating and it's frightening. The war in Israel and Gaza, the genocide, it's frightening. And then even in Canada here, our continued remembrance of our own genocide and trying to be cognizant of that and aware and learning about the pain of our people and the first people of Canada. But how do we balance all of this without falling into grief, overstimulating our brain, flipping our lid, and feeling traumatized? How do we manage the anxiety? It's funny, not funny, but for myself, since the American election, I said to myself, I'm like, it feels like we've been stuck in a full moon for like 2 weeks. So there's sort of some theory that when a full moon appears, that people tend to act more neurotic or we have heightened anxiety. For myself, I felt more anxious. My clients have felt more anxious. My friends, my American friends that I've spoken to have talked about the pain and the concern and the trouble, the fog, the mental fog that's been going on. So I'm just trying to normalize some of the things. If you've been seeing some of this stuff going on for yourself, plus we've had the time change for many of us, and that can really mess with our what is the rhythm called, the correct word, but our biology just gets shaken up. Say it like that. Not always good at the big terms. I like to speak like a person. Um, so personally, when I was reflecting on this, feeling all the feelings, I put out this mini blog on our Instagram, and the image says, if you try and fail, congratulations. Most people won't even try. And I most of the times when I'm putting things out there, I'm sitting with myself in my own place of contemplation and I'm thinking, how am I doing? And pondering what felt like failure to me, or feeling just this tidal wave of emotion. Meanwhile, the world keeps spinning, and I'm a mom, and I'm a psychologist, and I'm a business owner, and I'm writing, and I'm taking courses, and I'm living my life, and I'm cleaning my house, and I'm doing laundry, and I'm cooking supper, and I'm sweeping the floor, and sweeping the floor, and sweeping the floor. That's been trending in my house right now. Ugh. Laundry, floors, dishes. Wow, right? So those little foxes that come in and cause us pain when we have all of these big things going on. And in the insurmountable, it can feel very, very overwhelming. So first things first, I'm just going to notice this. Something that me and my anxiety clients have been talking about, and I've been doing myself, is in the big pile up, sometimes it's nice for somebody to say, be gentle with yourself. And please, please do be gentle with yourself. But write a list. If you're grappling with anxiety right now, I'm not a behavioral therapist. I can be judgmental of behavioralists. Oh, I'm sorry. But there's a time and a place where writing a list, finding measurable and manageable ways to set our goals and achieve our goals and see our goals are being achieved. So a list, we write it down. I wrote down this huge list. I had so many littles, mediums, and bigs of tasks. I talk to children a lot, okay? And so as I go through the littles, the bigs, the mediums, I'm checking them off, or I like to write an electronic list now. So I just erase them and everything starts to disappear off my list. I used to really like sticky notes and then cross them off. I still do some of that. So as I was reflecting on this post here, if you try and fail, congratulations. Most people won't even try. The more we try, the more we feel failure. Brene Brown says, you know what, if you're in the stands watching me and you're not in the arena, I don't really want to hear it. The majority of us are in the arena. And sometimes it's frightening and we move back out, but it's hard not to be in the arena. And sometimes we're in the arena not by choice. So, I mean, I think Brene is saying, like, if you're really trying, and you're failing, congratulations. That's the arena. And that's how I perceive the arena. That when we're in the arena, sometimes we want to lay down and curl up and do nothing. And there's a time and a place where that will happen. It happens for all of us. But there is also a time and a place where we say, yeah, I failed and that sucked. Yeah, I got a bad review and that sucked. Yes, not everybody is going to like me. Oh, it's snowing outside and they're going to be shoveling some snow. So you might hear that. But there's also a time and a place to say, what's so bad about me? Like, what is so bad about you? That's a very important rhetorical question. What's so bad about you? We are all included in the same heart of love. Love is always loving, or it is not love. Within love, there is always a place for correction. When we step outside and we punish and we criticize and we ridicule, we are not acting within the parameters of love. All right. So love is nonviolent. Love is always nonviolent. There's no place in the heart of love for violence. And that is also towards ourselves. Self-love is nonviolent love towards ourselves. That's what this is saying. If you try and fail, congratulations. Most people won't even try. Love says this. So when I wrote this mini post or this mini blog, I was like, who needs to hear this? But the truth was that I'm writing this because I needed to hear this. And I'm a person like everybody else. And I got this weird hair thing going on. So there's a place where, when you look at other people, and I like to say that I struggle because I think sometimes people could look at me and think that I try to hide my flaws or I don't struggle, but I do struggle. And I try to be really honest in my book about the pain that I feel inside and the ways that I do struggle. We fail forward is something that's a classic statement from the 90s. That was Robert Schuller, failing forward. We fail forward. And sometimes people can look like it's coming easy and sometimes they don't. I sit with people and the outside perspective of them is that it looks like it's coming easy to them, even though people know what's going on inside of their lives or what has gone on in their history. There can be this societal look at people to say, wow, life comes easy to you. Doesn't come easy. If we're working, we're working. And we're all trying to live lives. We're afforded opportunity and we're also afforded difficulty. It's hard. And some people have been given way, way more. Some people have been given way more opportunity and some people have been given way more difficulty. So it's not easy. And pain is subjective, whether you have been afforded what looks like more or whether you have been afforded what is definitely less. I apologize for the glare on my glasses. I can't video without glasses anymore. My eyes don't work. So I'm going to read what I wrote here. So sometimes we feel anxious and we stop. By that, I mean, sometimes we feel anxious and we stop what we're doing. Sometimes we feel anxious and we keep going. sometimes we push through the anxiety. This is where having something as little as a list can really help. I feel anxious. I want to stop. So I start to write it all down. And then I have it written there so I can look at what I feel like I can do, what is measurable and manageable for me just right now under the pressure of all of the stressors that I mentioned earlier on. That's called a stress pileup. Do what you can, when you can, as you can. Boy, that sounds like something I would say, doesn't it? Do what you can, when you can, as you can. That's also something that love says. Love says, do what you can, when you can, as you can. Love says, if you try and fail, congratulations. Now, most people won't even try. Love says you're trying, baby. And it's brutally hard out there right now. And on the really hard days, remember, motivation is hard stuff on the really hard days. Wow, that's a point of contemplation. There's deep roots in what I wrote there. On the really hard days, remember, motivation is hard stuff on the really hard days. It is unfair for us to compare our bad day to our good day. On my good days, boy, I feel good about myself. And on my bad days, it is a spiritual, mental, psychological, biological, neurological, all the logical experiment. It's to practice figuring out how to say, I did good today. When I sit with somebody who is burnt out from work or burnt out from life or burnt out from a toxic relationship and they're collapsing. So collapse is when you're just so done. I'll often try to really trumpet to somebody. It's about getting one thing done a day. Like if you unload the dishwasher on a really bad day, that is something. Okay. If you clear off the kitchen counter on a really bad day, that is something. If you have a shower on a really bad day, that is something. That is success. On the really bad days, motivation is hard. On the really good days, we get more done. And so we can feel good about ourselves. But I'm hinting at something here. Okay. Our actions are not our value. So if I have a great day and I get lots done and I feel like a rock star, okay, enjoy that. Ride the wave of feeling like a rock star because you did well. And on the really bad days, when all we do is a load of laundry or cook supper, the smallest thing, that's a rock star day too. Do what you can, when you can, as you can. It's pretty painful out there right now. There's a lot going on in the background, and we are all impacted. We are all impacted. And if you are just living your best life right now, good for you. And if you are in this place with so many people who are feeling the anxiety, feeling the unknown, feeling the weight of the snow, the Alberta snow, it's here, baby. That's okay. Love hears you with loving ears. Love sees you with loving eyes. And love knows you with a loving mind. That is what love is. It's this supernatural cusp that we all belong to. But here I am, a fellow traveler, offering to you that if I meet you on the street, I will hear you with loving ears and I will see you with a loving mind. Or I will see you with loving eyes and I will then know something of you with a loving mind. And the big piece that I'm really driving towards is this self-compassion that the challenge is right now for each one of us to love ourselves as if there is only one of us. That is also what love says. I love you as if there is only one of you in the whole wide world, but that you may see yourself, that you may hear yourself with loving ears, that you may see yourself with loving eyes, and that you may know yourself with a loving mind. Hear me, see me, know me. Let's go slow so that we can go fast. Let's be spiritually present so that we can contemplate. And let's hear our inner world so that we can write a list and figure out the little bits, medium-sized bits, and the big bits. And if you do a big bit and a little bit, if you only do the little ones, if you do some medium-sized tasks, whatever you do what you can, when you can, as you can. Be gentle with yourself, but also write a list. I guess that's the long and the short of what I'm trying to plea. That's what I am pleading for myself. So peace and love. And I'm so glad that you're here. And I know that in each one of our own little lives, in our sphere of influence, there are people that are glad that we are here. It can be easy to forget, but it's not a lie. Take care.